SportsCenter.com. New on NFL Live, here's Jordan Love ahead of the Packers matchup with the Broncos.
Obviously, they're a very good defense. Probably one of the best defenses we've seen all year, and the numbers are, all kind of back that. But yeah, I think, obviously the pass rush they have, the sacks they've been able to generate, and you look at the defense all across the board. I think they got really good players and a really good scheme. So it'll be a good test for us to be able to go out there and see what we can do as offense.
Yeah, no team has run man defense more often than the Broncos' staunch defensive unit this season. They're in man on 61% of opponents' dropbacks. However, they'll face Jordan Love on Sunday, who's shredded man defenses this season. The league best 89 total QBR against man defense, 18 touchdowns, only 2 picks in those scenarios. So, Hawk, a big part of Love's success has been developing that chemistry with Christian Watson. We've talked a lot about it on this show, which I love. What have you seen from him?
I've seen a number one receiver. I mean, last week we talked about Christian Watson, and Dan asked if he was in that same category as Julio Jones and Andre Johnson. I looked at him like he was crazy, and I still feel that way. But
well, he is crazy.
When you watch him, though, you can see the development in Christian Watson's game. He's not just a down-the-field threat, and he's developed a trust with Jordan Love. Here you're going to have a spot route. You see him wrap the linebacker, find the space in the defense, but it allows Jordan Love to stay on time and dot him with the throw to move chains. Next, you're going to see versus cover 0, so you're going to have pressure. He has to cross space here with speed and get his head around because he's the only outlet for Jordan Love. Now, there's not pressure, but watch how he crosses space so quickly. Intermediate, contested catch, touchdown. Lastly, you're going to have a slant out of the slot here. He is going to attack leverage on this DB. He is going to win. When I want number one receivers, I want guys that can win down the field and win in short area quickness. And he creates 35 yards of rack. So now you have a 42-yard touchdown pass on a 6-yard throw. That's what Christian Watson has brought to the offense, and it's why you're seeing Jordan Love play with so much comfort and actually closer to the potential that we've seen him do in spots.
Last week when we were previewing the Packers offense against the Bears defense, I was talking about how the key was it was going to be a kitchen sink game from Dennis Allen, the Bears defensive coordinator, because they don't have the dudes up front to just pure pass rush and make an opposing quarterback uncomfortable. The Broncos do. They don't lead the NFL in sacks. They lead the NFL in sacks by a mile. If you're going to win against this Packers team, though, you better do it and make Jordan Love uncomfortable. They have 10 games this year in which they have either won or tied with the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love has been sacked a total of 9 times in those games. 21 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And there are 3 losses against good teams and good defenses. 9 sacks taken, so the same number of those 3 losses as the 10 non-losses, and just 1 passing touchdown and 2 picks. If there's any defense that can make life uncomfortable for Jordan Love, it is this Denver Broncos defense. They have been the best pass rush in the league. Again, not by a little bit, not by a lot, but by a mile this season.
They have 55. They have 55.
55.
Sacks. It's more than 4 a game. You're talking about he's been sacked 3 times a game in their losses. Yeah. So kind of a bad combination there. I'd be curious to see how much of that QBR against man coverage was against teams that have 4 sacks a game. Right. I think that makes it difficult. I had a Broncos game earlier this year. Talked to some of their defensive players about pursuing the sack record. It's definitely something they're aware of and eager to get. Obviously, they say all the right things about one game at a time, etc. But they really believe that the variety they offer with the number of different guys and the ways they can rush and the way their guys on the back end cover, especially now that Patrick Surtain is back, that sets them up to handle whatever that is thrown at them. Vance Joseph, I think their defensive coordinator, I think is a guy whose name we're going to start hearing next month when it comes to head coaching candidates and interviews and stuff like that. So that Broncos defense has been on point all year, and it probably, I would say, probably the toughest that the Packers have seen so far.
Yeah, you mentioned that sack record. They're on pace for 71 sacks this season, 1 shy of the NFL record set by
84 Bears.
The 84 Bears. Thank you, Graz. I knew he would know.
Wasn't 85?
No,
84 Bears got him.
84 had more. Yeah.
No kidding.
Interesting enough, they were all
Buddy
great,
Ryan.
though.
Yes. Buddy Ryan, baby.
Okay, back to some top stories with Adam Schefter. Adam, what is the latest on CeeDee Lamb?
Well, Laura, he was back at practice today. He still is not cleared through concussion protocol, but the fact that he was back at practice is certainly an encouraging sign for his availability for Sunday's game against the Vikings. As of right now, still in the protocol. He'll have to clear through protocol. We'll see if he can do that. That would be the step he needs to play Sunday. Meanwhile, T. Higgins, who's in concussion protocol as well, was limited in practice today. He banged his head on multiple occasions last week against the Bills. Reported symptoms Sunday night, was placed into protocol on Monday. We'll see whether he can clear. Hard to imagine he would play Sunday against Baltimore, but who knows? Meanwhile, the Indianapolis Colts a short time ago listed Riley Leonard as a full participant in practice today, giving him a chance to play Sunday. But Phillip Rivers also was out there today, and he has a chance to play Sunday. I think the Colts want to see how Phillip Rivers responds to move forward, but it's a situation now where basically they have a quarterback decision to make, and there's a real possibility that Phillip Rivers is going to start Sunday at Seattle.
By the way, if Phillip Rivers gets the start for the Colts Sunday in Seattle, it would be the second straight season where the head coach is younger than the starting quarterback. Okay, Joe Flacco was the quarterback last year for Shane Steichen that he had. It's only happened 2 other times in the last 40 seasons prior to the Colts, most recently with the 2008 Jets when Eric Mangini and Brett Favre were paired together. So if we could only talk to the GM who made that call. Look who's here with us. Mike Tannenbaum joining us now. Mike, you're familiar with this kind of veteran QB signing from when you signed Brett Favre, as we just mentioned there. How do you see this going with Phillip Rivers?
I was there, and we also had Vinny Testaverde, who was also towards the end, and it's their feet that goes first, and that would be the big concern is Phillip Rivers could still throw the ball. Presumably, his workout went very well on Monday night, but they are going to Seattle. They have the second highest percentage of pressure in the league. They're going to blitz Phillip Rivers if he plays in pregame and make him move. There's no doubt he can throw the ball, but my big concern is, can he protect himself from a team that's going to bring a lot of pressure? And we saw that with Brett Favre, Vinny Testaverde. It's their feet that goes first, not their arm.
Yeah, it's something to keep an eye on for sure. What does this all mean for Daniel Jones' future in your mind?
You know, Laura, the obvious comparison is what happened with Kirk Cousins a couple years ago. When he was with the Vikings, he tore his Achilles tendon. He still wound up getting $90 million in guaranteed money from the Atlanta Falcons. Because this injury happened as late as it did, I don't think he's going to get that in terms of guaranteed money as robust of a market. But if I'm the Colts, I do want to bring him back. I want to hedge my bet a little bit. I don't think they would franchise him at $45 million. They still have Anthony Richardson, who's obviously been a disappointment. And then, you know, in free agency, maybe they go with a youth movement and go with the 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers. So, you know, we'll see what they do. But the free agent market for quarterbacks isn't good. So hopefully there's some middle ground with Daniel Jones. But I would be surprised if he was ready by opening day, just given how late in the year we are.
Yeah, you wonder with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he said that he wanted to retire after this year, but he might have thought the Steelers season was going to go a little bit differently. But again, that book is not written yet. So if the Steelers go on a run, could change things. Or if they don't, that may factor in as well. All right, more to come. Thanks, Mike T, for stopping by here. This is just like niche knowledge that you only have. Coming up, it's the second week in December. Kansas City on the outside looking in. Playoffs without Mahomes? Someone says it might be time to consider it. Find out more next. That's coming your way right here on NFL Live. We're back on ESPN.